Have you ever been stuck talking to a gatekeeper and you feel like you will never be able to reach the decision maker that you're targeting? Well, I have, and after making 50,000 cold calls and closing $2 million worth of revenue, I have come to find out that there are only 5 strategies that you need to consistently get past the gatekeeper instead of being stuck talking to the receptionist all day. My name is Luke Ross, and I went from BDR to head of sales in less than 3 years, all through picking up the phone. And on this channel, I'll be sharing the B2B strategies that you need to progress as quickly as humanly possible in sales and make a boatload of commission. Strategy number 1 is you need to slow the hell down. So when you pick up the phone and you start rushing in to the exact reason you're calling and you vomit a lot of information onto the gatekeeper, they are trained to just turn you away. And the reason is because you sound like every other salesperson that has called them that day. They speak too quickly, they give too much information instead of being short and confident and to the point. So next time you pick up the phone, slow down by 25% and consciously think about the words that you're saying instead of spewing everything that comes to your mind straight away. Strategy number 2 is to avoid desk lines at all cost. So there was a study done by Gong, and they announced that your chances getting through to a decision maker if you call a desk line are 73 to 1, meaning 1 in every 73 attempts you will get through to a decision maker if you call a desk line. Whereas if you call a mobile number, you will get through 1 in 10 times. So next time you're thinking about calling a HQ number from ZoomInfo or Apollo or wherever you get your data, skip it. Try and get mobile numbers, skip the gatekeeper at all costs if possible. Strategy number 3 is to call when the gatekeeper is not at their desk. So typically a receptionist / gatekeeper clocks in at 9, clocks out at 5. Whereas the type of people that you are calling, so the VPs of sales, the head of operations, whatever your ICP is, they're typically clocked in for a little bit longer. So the trick is to call before the meetings start, which is going to be before 9 a.m. So let's say between 8 and 9. And then after they finish up, so between 5 to 6 p.m, you will be much more likely to catch them when they're not busy, when they're packing up for the day, and they might just take your call instead of being rushed into the next meeting. If you have found this video any way useful at all, I would really appreciate if you hit subscribe below. We're trying to get some momentum on this channel, and we're only at the early stages, so it would really mean a lot. Strategy number 4 is a little bit counterintuitive, because I recommend that you do not explain why you're calling. So for example, if you pick up the phone and you say, I'd like to speak to the VP of sales to discuss X, Y, or Z, they are trained to screen you out. Whereas if you pick up the phone, you know the person that you're calling and you say, hi, is David about? They are far more likely to put you through because it sounds like you know the person and you've already spoken before. So you need to be assumptive and confident, and that is going to increase the likelihood of you actually getting through to the decision maker instead of spending 20 minutes chatting to a gatekeeper trying to finesse the system. Strategy number 5 is very simple, and it piggybacks off of number 4, and it's only to use first names. And this goes for all situations. You should not say, is David Smith around? You should say, is David about? And I know if you're calling larger companies that can be a little bit more tricky, but I still recommend going in with a first name. When they inevitably ask you what their second name is, you tell them that as if you've spoken to them before. But if you lead with this, you are not going to get through to them, end of story. They are just doing their job. So, moral of the story is you have to realize that gatekeepers are not the enemy. They are just doing your job. So you need to use all of the tricks in your arsenal to do your very best to get past them and to speak to the decision maker instead of sitting there running up your talk time and wasting those precious dialing hours speaking to someone who cannot help you with the problem you're trying to solve, which is hitting your quota. Now that you know how to get past the gatekeeper, you need to know the cheat codes for sales that are going to help you get promoted a hell of a lot quicker. So if you want to see the 20 sales cheat codes that I use to get promoted really quickly, click the video here, and I'll see you next time.